called the object of intent is to get there. One lifetime meets another lifetime in a constant lifetime of wars. Leaning cities greet us at every station, and every wound points to the same place. If your unique pain cancels out my unique pain, then there's nothing unique about pain. What's left to do but carry your troubles to where they're going? Once there, you'll stumble on the rest of us. This is called a father's lesson. My mother warned my brother and I how my father was going to punish us for having pictures of nude women under our mattress. Anticipation was intense. Finally, when the viejo came home, he glanced at the photos, gave us a short, stern talk, sent us to our rooms, then calmly placed the pictures inside her shirt pocket. Suburbia. And it has a great saying by the great Puerto Rican poet Felipe Luciano that says, oppression makes even God smell foul. Reading the newspaper, I feel like an accomplice. A voyeur is also guilty of something. So the murders, the corruptions, and calculated larcenies against the spirit reside in me too. It's easy, I suppose, to pretend I don't pay rent to the conspiracies and that the church is immune because it's tax exempt. But from a landfill or cemetery grow multicolored flowers. Who can say then from what polluted soils my blossoms will spring? Believe me when I say, water is the skin of the earth. Trains are arteries with corpuscles of people. A sigh is an ancestor praying. Woman's body is suspended over the land. Tears come from clouds in your head. Writing a poem is like fathering a river. Waiting is the art of desire. Something about a city makes you want to kill. Fetuses scribble on the walls of wombs. So you can tell I love to do poetry, and I'm going to share one that goes back to my native roots. It's called My Name's Not Rodriguez, and I know that people get confused when I say that because I still say, well, you can still call me Luis Rodriguez. But obviously Rodriguez has only got 500 years in this land. And my native roots mean that I have a name that's deeper than all of that. Deeper for tens and thousands of years that we've been here. And I don't know what that name is. But I know it's in my bones. It's in my DNA. Somewhere that name is there. So this poem is about trying to remember something that may not come in my head, but in my heart I know is there. And it's called My Name's Not Rodriguez. My name's not Rodriguez. It is a sigh of climbing feet. The lather of gold lust, the slave master's religion with crippled hands gripping greed's tail. My name's not Rodriguez. It's an Indian mother's noiseless cry, a warrior's saliva on arrow tip, a jaguar's claw, and woman's enticing contours on volcanic rock. My real name's the ash of memory from burned trees. It's the 3-year-old child wandering in the plain and shot by U.S. cavalry in the Sand Creek Massacre. I'm a Geronimo's yell into the canyons of the old ones. I'm the Comanche scout, the Rada Moody shaman, and soiled bandana running in the wretched rain. I'm called Rodriguez and my tears leave rivers of salt. I'm Rodriguez and my skin dries on the bones. I'm Rodriguez and a diseased laughter enters the pores. I'm Rodriguez and my father's insanity blocks every passageway, scorching the walls of every dwelling. My name's not Rodriguez. It's a fiber in the wind. It's what oceans have immersed. It's what's graceful and sublime over the top of peaks, what goes red in desert sands. It's the crawling life, the watery breast between ledges. It's taut drum and peyote dance. It's the brew for fermented heartaches. Don't call me Rodriguez unless you mean peon and sod carrier, unless you mean slayer of truths and deep sixer of hopes, unless you mean forget and then die. My name's the black-hooded 9mm welding child in all our alleys. I'm death row monk, the 8-year-old gum seller in city bars and taco shops. I'm unlicensed, uninsured, unregulated, and unforgiven. I'm free and therefore hungry. Call me Rodriguez and bleed in shame. Call me Rodriguez and forget your own name. Call me Rodriguez and see if I whisper in your ear, mouth stained with bitter wine. share a newer poem. It's only been published in magazines, but it hasn't been published in a book yet. And I want to end with this poem. I want to just again thank Suzanne and everybody here at Penn, Penn, and everybody who put this together, and just to say how powerful poetry is, how we need it, how it's a way for peace, how it brings us together, and it finds a commonality in every one of us, because everyone's got a song in their heart. And when you invoke that song, either through music, through words, through any way possible, you're bringing us all together. So this is what this is about. Now, I want to read you a poem about my first poetry reading, because I didn't know anything about poetry. I was a heroin addict and a gang member and here in Los Angeles. And one day, I ended up in Berkeley, California, to a first poetry reading. I was 18 years old. I was still on drugs. And you know how sometimes you go to these things and they wake you up? Maybe people didn't get woke up when a poetry reading happened, but something happened to me. I'd never seen anybody do this before. And I didn't realize that was going to be my destiny, that I was going to be doing it. But I want to read you that poem, that first poetry reading, and it's dedicated to the three poets that read there. Some of you know who they are. Anybody know about Jose Montoya, the godfather of Chicano poetry? He was there. David Henderson, who was the leading African-American poet of the time, and my good friend Pedro Piastri, the late Pedro Piastri, the Puerto Rican great poet from New York, who also read. Can you imagine these three guys in one room, and I'm going to the first poetry reading of them? So it's very powerful. So I'm going to read you the poem. It goes like this. It's called Fevered Shapes. I wallowed in a needle-spawned world, addicted to dope and the crazy life, and yet there I was in Berkeley for my first poetry reading. I was 18 with a bullet, as they say. Earlier I had flown on a plane for the first time. Sure, I survived half a dozen gun assaults, cops knocking me around, overdoses, blades to my neck in jail cells, homeless in dark streets, and beatdowns and body brawls. But flying, that scared me to death. I sat there in the crowded cafe, not knowing what to expect. Poetry? I never heard this before. Oh, I had written lines, vignettes, images, fears, thoughts. I didn't know they were poems. I had no idea what a poem was. First up on the mic was Jose Montoya with Chicano prayers of old pachucos and strained loves and guitar solos and Indian hands and cornflower. Then David Henderson took the stage, gleaning urban black streets, racist stares, Black Panther fury, and Southern cooking. Finally, Pedro Piastri came up, Neo-Rican wordmeister, flashing at various experiences with poems located in phone booths and real-life wisdoms that made us laugh and shake our heads. I never heard words spoken this way before. More music than talk, more fevered shapes than sentences, more Che and Malcolm than Shakespeare. These poems came for me, lashed from my throat, demanded my life savings, taking me for a sunset ride, knocking me to the dust. These poems were graffiti scrawls along the alleys and trash-strewn tunnels of my body, the metaphoric methadone for the heroin hurting through my bloodstream, the lifeline I already had inside and didn't know. These poems were pool sticks, darkened gangways, a swirl of sunrise after the graveyard shift, a black yelling from behind torn curtains, a child screaming and nobody coming to help. They were a woman sent after a night of lovemaking, a sweet touch of hand to face, a forest of hair on a pillow, a moan during an elongated kiss. These poems were shadowed intense, startled out, sorrows without grief, the moon without sky, unknown melodies, the falling and sighing that happens when you push razor onto wrist. It came for me as I sank into my suicide, while fidgeting in a chair, inching under the skin, as I wondered why I even came. Jose, David, and Pedro, I was never the same after this. They came for me, and I've never let go. They came for me, and I've perspired poems ever since. They came for me and all my addictions, my sorry-ass lives, my falling math, my pissed-off wives, neglected children, angry friends, and back-to-back failures could never, ever take them away. Thank you all very much. Thank you.